All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Moshe Edri. Moshe, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Kevin. Excited to be here.
I'll tell you, after our first conversation, I've been looking forward to this. You are doing some really amazing things, and you are the epitome of an entrepreneur. Just stepping in, just you got a passion for what you do and who you serve, and I want to start off by giving a shout out to Thad Huang because Thad was the one that introduced you and I. And he was the one that suggested, Kev, you should definitely have Moshe on your podcast and stuff. And so we got to have a conversation and get to know each other a little bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, Thad was right. We should definitely do an interview. And here we are. And so I'm looking forward to this. And Moshe, I'll just start off with a nice simple question to get us rolling and stuff. Is what do you do and who do you serve?
So yeah, I'm Moshe. I'm the founder of Sphere, and
Okay.
Sphere is a platform for specifically estheticians. So when you talk about vertical AI platform, this is exactly what I built in the last year and a half. It's a platform for estheticians, and yeah, I think that's kind of the short version of it.
Yeah. So, what inspires you most about what you're doing, Moshe, and the impact that you guys are making?
So that's exactly what inspired me, the impact, right? So Sphere is basically touching neglected kind of like domain within the spa industry.
Okay.
And there's no platform for esthetician. No one is writing software for this people.
Uh-huh.
And the idea is that, they're different enough, and maybe we'll get into it, how they're different from any other practitioners, that they should have their own software. Their workflows are a little bit different. And the idea that I can, with my software, introduce them with the latest and greatest of technology and AI and help them actually move the needle within their business, that's very inspiring me to see the impact that it creates on them, on the individual, like moms and pop shops or single operator, where they don't have the knowledge, the tool, or the time to do what we do. So
Yeah.
that's basically what
So
inspired me.
before you came along, Moshe, and realized like, wow, this is a real problem here. What were these spa owners, these mom and pop businesses, these individuals, what were they doing in order to just be able to deal with all of this stuff and
So I
run
would
their
say
business?
it goes from one extreme to another, right? Like there are moms and pop shops that just still operating with a written notebook and calendar in order to organize their day. And
Uh-huh.
there is a bunch of estheticians that cave into workflows of other platforms in order to be able to work in a certain way. But what you find there is that they never find the right platform. So on average, about 20 to 22 months, they switch platform. So it's
Okay.
very common to hear about someone that says, I tried this platform and I tried this platform and I tried this platform. And it's
Mhm.
because none of the existing platforms are built specifically for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're just keep looking for something better. And in the end, they find that, it's all about the same because it's not designed for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, um, what is a result? And maybe you got more, or heck, you probably do by this point, got plenty of results that you've helped clients get that you're incredibly proud of and stuff. Give us some examples of that. You don't have to name names and anything. You
Yeah,
can if you
100%.
want. And
So I'll start with explaining why and how it's different, right? And then
okay.
I'll move into kind of like how we're doing it
Okay,
different.
perfect.
So an example that I think that anyone will be able to understand, even if you're not coming from the world of spa or estheticians, right? Esthetician is someone that deal with skin. Okay, it could
Yes.
be just kind of like a beauty. You want your skin to be glowing, or you have a really bad case of acne or pigmentation, melasma, and a bunch of other
Okay.
complicated skin conditions, right? So all the platforms that are out there optimizing around a single appointment. So they're very transactional. So let's say a barbershop, nail salon, and massage therapist, for the most part, they're very transactional. You come, you get your service, and you leave, and you might come back and you might not. But when you go to an esthetician with a problem that you have in the skin and you want to solve it, it's not just one and done. You
Yeah.
need to go from point A to point B. And in between, there are multiple appointments that you need to go in order to see improvement in your skin care. So I always say that estheticians has more in common more in common with personal trainers than barbershop or nail salon
Okay.
because it's a journey. They're
Yeah.
building relationship with their clients. The clients are trusting them to take care of honestly something that they share every day, their face, their
Hmm.
skin, right?
Hmm.
So the problem is that no other platform allowing them to operate that way. That's how they're being trained, by the way, and how they're thinking when they look at you. They're thinking about, okay, you're at point A, you need to get to point B. It will require this series of appointments, but there is no way for them to book it in that way and operate that way.
Okay.
So that's one of the examples that I think that uh, a lot of people will be able to understand, even
Yeah.
if you're not coming from
Yeah.
that world.
Yeah.
So my platform allowing them to create a personalized treatment plans. So just like as you go to personal trainer and say, hey, I want to get in shape. Hey, I want to lose weight. I want by that date, I have a wedding that I need to get into that goal.
Mhm.
Pretty much similar to that. That tool, treatment plans, allow them to help their customers. And the impact now that allowing them to work in that business model, because it never existed before for
Yeah.
them. I have an esthetician that's averaging 3 or 4 different treatment plans a week, and
Okay.
the average cost for a plan is about 2 grand. So
Okay.
that's 6 to 8 grand a week,
Hmm. Hmm.
revenue that she never had access before. And that's on
Yeah.
top of everything else that we do, that we save them time because everything is in one tool and, helping them with the website, SEO and marketing, everything. The bottom line, it's that they're making more money because that tool allowing them to operate how they're trained and thinking about.
Wow. Wow. Now that you've described it that way, I can only imagine how painful it must be for all these estheticians, like just being able to find a software platform that just fits in with what they do and stuff, because you're totally right. Barbershop, whatever. I mean, it's definitely not the same. you
It's
know?
optimized around a single appointment,
Yeah.
right? This
Yeah.
is like, hey, let give you a tool that allow you to book clients.
Yes.
But what's the purpose of the booking? What's the purpose of the visit? That context is not there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
add to that there are no specific workflows and tools that focusing on skin and it's just, it's creating a lot of friction for them and burnout over time because they need that tool for doing booking. They need to go have a website over there. Sometimes the website is different from their online store, and it's like all of a sudden they're finding themselves so fragmented that a single operator, it's a lot for them to
Yeah.
process. So that
Yeah.
creates a lot of burnout for them.
Yeah. So when did you realize that this was a problem, and when did you start doing this, Moshe?
So I did an esthetician for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And when we started dating, she was working for a big gym, right? So they were offering esthetician services. And then slowly she started playing with the idea of opening her own clinic.
Okay.
And she shifted half and half. And then the tools that were available were not like satisfying what she needed.
Hmm.
So she started fragment herself. And of course, I'm my background is technology. I've been working in startups for all my adult life. And so obviously I jumped to help, right? And then I was like, okay, is it just her? Like, is she just not aware of the right tool for
Hmm.
doing what she's trying to do? And the more that I dug into it, I realized, hey, it's crazy because no one is really offering anything that actually is satisfying their requirements for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into that.
Wow. Wow. And so how long ago was that now that when you
Now
first
it's a
opened the
year and a
doors for
half.
this? Year and a
So
half.
I'm building since February 2025,
Okay.
and I started selling in January.
In January. Okay. So
Yeah.
you've been building for a year and a half and started selling like we'll say 6 months ago. And
Yeah.
so where are you at right now? What's been going on and how was the response? I mean, you shared some really good results there. I'm sure that's not the only thing you could share. Where are
Yeah.
you at now and what's your vision going forward from now that you can see where you're at now?
Yeah, so the momentum is really good, and
Okay.
there's a bunch of people that joining organically, and the strategy was always kind of like not to chase the individuals because in terms of ROI, it's a lot. And I'm a single founder operator. I don't have anyone else working at Spotsphere.
Okay.
So the idea was always to create collaborations and create those connections and win-win situations within the industry. So I always kind of like went after the lecturers, the industry leaders, the influencers, the coaches, and that strategy worked great because it's top down and it's kind of targeting hubs.
Yep.
And there is a big collaboration that is about to be announced next month with one of the national esthetician organization that we're going to collaborate. And
Nice.
so that's exciting and scary at the same time.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of good momentum that happens and continuing to support the existing clients, and that's growing every week. There's growth over there as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, okay. So now that we've got a little bit of context set here, I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to talk about the relationship side of this. So, Moshe, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons that completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah, 100%. I think I touched it a little bit. It's my ex-girlfriend, right? Like,
Okay.
if I haven't met her, I would probably still work for one of the biggest tech giants or, kind of like doing something else that related to technology and would never touch or get
Oh,
into the spa industry. But it's amazing because, you see, I can speak specifically about her, she cares so much about her clients and all she wants to focus is on the clients. She doesn't want to deal with the technology side, right?
okay.
And that was kind of like, the challenge for me, kind of like, to create the best platform for estheticians. So they need to forget about technology. Technology becomes the easy part, not the hard part.
Hmm.
So they can
Hmm.
focus on building their relationship with their clients, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, to close the loop on the relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Making the technology the easy part so the business owner can just focus on doing what they do best. And so, yeah, yeah. So, so all because of that relationship, through that, you found out like, wow, I can't believe it's 2025 and nobody is serving these people.
Correct. I
And
mean,
this is a real problem. This is a real challenge. And so I'm going to step in and heck, I have the background. I have the experience to be able to serve these people and stuff. And so, all because of that relationship, had you guys not dated, you would have probably never even found out about this.
yeah.
And so, yeah, yeah. So, what I mean, so with where you're at now, so you've got momentum going. Things are happening. You got a a partnership, a collaborative partnership coming up with somebody that you mentioned is even got you just, excited, but then also just like, wow, I'm really getting out of my comfort zone here. And I, coming from my background, especially in my previous business, I ran a publishing company, and from we launched that company in 2004 and we ran it through 2016. So for 12 years, and during those 12 years, I did almost 500 strategic partnerships, and some of them were pretty big. And so I can feel you. So what has you most excited, and what has you just even a little bit anxious about this
Yeah.
strategic partnership?
So obviously it's exciting because it's growth, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And on I'd say it's even exciting on the personal level because I'm an introvert. So
okay,
creating those connections and approaching people and kind of like, creating these relationship, it's a little bit harder for me. It's like it
yeah,
requires a lot more energy, right? So I'm looking back and kind of, where I started and where I am today. And it makes me proud of like, I was capable of like, creating those connections, meaningful connections and focusing it in a way that always creating win-win-win situations. Win for the estheticians, win for Spasphere, and win for the brand that we're working with, right? And finding those ideas because I'm a technical person. I'm not a business development person. I'm not a marketing person. I'm not a salesperson, right? But I needed to wear those hats in order to do that. Now, that's the exciting part. The scary part is I'm still a solo operator, right?
uh-huh.
What happened if all of a sudden overnight, there's a flood of people that wants to join and kind of like will the system be easy enough for them to process it on their own? Because I'm still kind of like hand holding a lot of my clients. Some of
Okay.
them, it's kind of like the whole spectrum from people that don't want any help to the people that want you to do everything for them, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's fine tuning, like, the user experience, trying to find the ways to make it even easier on the onboarding. Like it's constant iteration and talking with the clients and kind of like figuring out points of friction. And I'm worried that if I'll have as we grow, I'll have more less opportunities to do that because it's still important to me to talk with my clients. Like
Yeah.
honestly, all my clients have my cell phone number. They know about our hamsters and they know about my dog. Like, we're kind of develop those kind of relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to lose that part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get it, and I totally feel you because I am the same exact way. I'm like you that, all the clients that I serve, they all have my cell phone number and stuff, and I consider every one of them friends that I would totally invite into my home for dinner with my family. In fact, many of them have been in my home,
So
and
I've met with a lot of my clients, like,
yeah, yeah,
either they're coming to visit around here or I'm flying somewhere or going somewhere. Always, if there's an opportunity to meet with them, I love that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
again, going back to relationships and personal time is like helping build those relationships.
yeah.
That digital, I guess, persona that you show in a camera or a meeting or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you're right, those being able to have those personal relationships with all your clients and stuff and yeah, I mean like if this thing takes off and you end up doing a partnership that all of a sudden now you've got 100 or 500 new clients or something like that. It's like, wow,
You can't scale
that
that.
would change the dynamic, wouldn't it? You know? And so, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. And so it's something you got to be cognizant of and just kind of managing that. And like, okay, we want to grow, but how much do we want to grow and how fast do we want to grow and stuff, and can our systems handle how much growth can our systems handle? And if it can't handle that much growth and we want to grow that, well, what do we need to do? What do we need to put in place so
Yeah.
that way we can grow like that,
So the technology side, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Like part of my past role was like, exactly that, designing systems that can scale and scale to millions of servers coming
Yeah.
overnight. and shutting down during the day because we processed heavy stuff over the night. So I'm not worried about the technology side. I'm worried about the support, right? I still
Mhm.
want to support them to the same
Yeah.
level supporting the current
Yeah.
customers. And that's where I'm kind of like, nervous, but you know what? It is what it is, and we'll deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
And I think that, you know, getting to know that industry and the people within the industry the last year and a half, it's really amazing how much they want to give
Mhm.
and care about their clients. I think 99% of the estheticians that I talked with, and I talked with hundreds of them, they're all about the people that they serve. They're all
Yeah.
about giving and showing the care that they want. And I'm happy that in a way we are now giving back to them. If it's
Okay.
within their time, with their revenue, with just free content and tools that we provide for them. So I would leave it with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, for anybody that might be listening to this and just kind of thinking to themselves, man, Kev, you know what? I really like Moshe. And maybe they're curious and they'd like to just find out more about what you're doing. Or maybe they're in the industry, or maybe they know somebody in the industry that's like, man, I need to let my friend know about this guy. Uh, any website, any resources we can share with folks?
Yeah, absolutely. My LinkedIn profile, no problem.
Okay.
Share that. You can share my email. It's moshe@spasphere.ai.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to shoot an email, I'm always happy to jump on calls and talk with people and brainstorm with people. Maybe there are people that, kind of like thinking about building something or already building something and just need advice or just, a solo founder is a lonely journey. So if
Yeah.
anyone find that they want to just kind of like, have a conversation, more than happy to do that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you're listening to this, there'll be links just right down below. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll find the links there to Moshe's website and to his LinkedIn profile and stuff and his email address. And we made it nice and easy for you. And Moshe, once again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thanks so much, man.
Thank you so much too, Kevin. Thank you for giving me that platform.
You bet.